Welcome back to another video. This is a user request video that I had requested actually today in Discord because I actually thought I had did a video on this. It's a very basic thing that I have promoted in our DIY stations for Wingbits. This video is going to be short. I know I say that for every video, but I actually have a timer going and I will be around the 8-minute mark. I'm hoping YouTube wants us to be close to at least 8 minutes for the algorithm. So I'm going to try not to go too in depth with this video, but Cronjob is something that I do on almost all of my either Ubuntu, Debian, Pi type devices, especially if they're remote located. So in case they get locked up, I can simply do a reboot. But cron jobs are expanded way more than that. And you can have cron jobs run certain scripts or jobs basically anytime you want to if you set it up correctly. So I'm going to go over that a little bit. And again, not get too detailed into it, but just to show you how I set one up, just to do a simple reboot and go from there. So before we get too deep into it, please just do me one favor. You know the whole routine. Please take 1 second real quick, look down, hit that thumbs up button for me. That thumbs up button helps a YouTube channel more than anything. It makes us, some of us feel like fools for doing the stuff that we're doing, but it feels good to let us know that we're helping y'all out. So hit the thumbs up button. Please hit the sub button. Check out my other channels, Grumpy Dad Outdoors, and I also started a new ham page because some issues I had with YouTube with that. So now there's the Grumpy KG5 FQT, if any on the ham stuff channel. So now I got 3 YouTube channels. So hit the subs for that for me. Hit the little bell notification so you don't miss these very important videos when they come out. Subscribe to my Twitter X also. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and assume that you're familiar with the Wingbits project. And you know basically the difference now that at one point we were doing build your own stations, BYOD, where you could take a helium device or anything basic with a Pi. I was also doing little potatoes or sweet potatoes because of the cost. There was a cutoff at 2,000 devices, which they hit, don't quote me on it, last August, September, somewhere around there, maybe even October. And then from this point forward, you can only purchase these stations on, one of the websites. Of course, I suggest hivefix.ai because you get 10% off all the items if you use the code TheGrumpyDad. So you can get a Wingbits or a Wingbits/geodnet device for 10% off, which is several $100s off with the code. So hopefully you use that if you need a device at this point. But this is going to be for the people who are using BYOD devices. Again, those are your PAs, different things like that. So I'm going to go ahead and show you. First of all, I'm going to say, if you are running a Pi or anything like that, some kind of BYOD device, even if you're using a third party, say like BitHarvest, BitHarvest is a third party. Y'all can look into them. I have links to them below. They can take a Pi or a potato, some of these, older helium devices. You can run their software on it, which will allow you to multi-mine. Wingbits, if you have a BYOD license, along with helium, if it's a helium device, along with grass and Curecoin and Honeygain and stuff like that. I have several videos on them. There's also Crank out there, which is another third party. I haven't used them yet. I don't have really anything negative to say about them. I just haven't used them because I know the BitHarvest guys, you can check those out also. But this is for people who have their own device who can SSH into their device. And what I was getting at earlier is I would suggest making sure you run Tailscale on every device. I don't care if it's Tailscale and that device is on your own network. There have been times where I couldn't get into something on my own network because for some reason the IP changed. Normally I put an IP reservation on all my devices. Sometimes I still lose it. With Tailscale, you can go and plug that device in anywhere in any network. And when it goes online, you can access it. I use that for my host devices. I'll program a Wingbit station here, send it half across the country. And as soon as they plug it into the internet, I can get into it. I have videos on Tailscale. I don't want to take, time from this video to discuss Tailscale. So I'm going to Tailscale right now into one of my devices and show you how I set up Cronjob. It's very easy. If you kind of know what the code is you need to use, which I'm going to show you that. Let's get to it. Okay, so first we're gonna SSH into your device, however way you need to do that. That's not what this video is about. So I'm assuming you already know how to SSH. Okay, now that we're in it, and this should be updated. But I'm gonna run the app to get an update just for the hell of it. Now again, I don't have to run sudo because I am already logged in as root, but I'm gonna go ahead and run this update anyway, and let that get done, and then we're gonna go from now. Starting off, if you want to see how long your device has been up for now, just because you're curious, you can just type uptime in this device, which does have a cron job to update, reboot every 4 days. Now has been up for 1 day and 13 hours and 36 minutes. So that kind of tells. All right. So first thing you do is you come up here and you go cron tab. That's right, cron tab dash space dash e, which will bring up this little script or box, or it's nano. So you're kind of updating this now. For most of y'all, what y'all going to see is this, where Wingbits is already running an update script every so often to update any kind of updates that they have or anything like that. What I do is I have kind of a notepad with all these different scripts and stuff like that I might need over time, different things like that. And that's what this looks like. And one thing you need to look for is if you have an issue, like when you go and start cron tab E, if it says cron tab can't be found, you can go to sudo apt dash get space install space cron, CRON, and that will download the app for you, or the script, or whatever you want to call it, the program for you. Then when you go and you type cron tab space E, right here, cron tab space E, that will bring up this screen as okay. Now again, that's why I keep this notes version, because with the notes version, all I do is if I want a 4-day Windows shutdown, I just highlight my little notes here and I just copy, Control C, and then I come over here to the Cronjob, put my cursor here and right click, and now I have a 4-day. I use this website right here, crontab.guru, Guru. Every 4 days of the month at 4 a.m., this will reboot. And again, if you want to change it some, I have ways you can change it, because I also have, like right here, you can see I have that 2 days. So if there's a more troublesome type of device, I can then alter it a little bit, and then I can go and make this 2 days. So every second day of the month. So it means every 2 days, this is going to change or reboot or whatever you do. If the script is for, like I said, the script, you can see right here where it says sbin shutdown, which is a reboot, 5 minutes. What happens is at 4 a.m., it's going to wait 5 minutes and then it reboots. It's 5 minutes. I really don't get that deep into all this stuff. I'll be honest with you. I'm just using it for this one thing. There are a lot of cron jobs. If you Google cron jobs, cron tab, and that kind of stuff like that, you can find some more information about it. But here's another one I have on a very troublesome device when I don't have time, or Maxie's too busy to help me out. And I'll give him, if I start having issues with a machine where the device is always up, but Wingbits occasionally will say it's offline, I know there's something hanging in there. A lot of my RockPi devices were the first devices I took off of helium because they were trash with helium. They wouldn't witness. They had all kinds of issues. And to be honest with you, of the 14 or so DIY devices I have for myself, including the plus 3 or 4 I have for one friend, 3 or 4 I have for another friend, 3 or 4 I have for another friend, and 3 or 4 I have for family, whatever that total is, the only ones that really consistently give us issue are the RockPis. You have to use a special OS version of Ubuntu with them, and they hang constantly. I can remote into them, but and I can even reboot them manually through the script reboot, but they'll hang again after several hours. So with Tailscale, I can temporarily give Maxi or somebody um, access to it, change the password to something temporary, and then he can look into it. And sure enough, normally it's because it's the rock pods are creating too many messages and it hangs up or locks up or something like that. So as soon as I reboot it, it comes back. So sometimes he'll give me a script to run that kind of controls the messages. But either way, my point I'm getting at is when you look at this right here will do every 6th hour. So basically every 6th hour, it's going to reboot. So basically every 6 hours. 120.83 DBM, who's a very big help in that Wingbits Discord, did use the analogy that this is kind of like continuously putting air in a tire going flat. Yes, you need to find the root of evil. But again, this video is strictly to help you with cron tabs. So you have to make sure that you have the right slashes in the right spot. You have to make sure you have stars in the right spot. Because if not, if you accidentally put a 1 here, then it's gonna change on day of the month 1. So you have to make sure that these stars, and that's why I like this, because you can go and play with it, different ways and put different inputs in here on the 2nd day of every month. If you do this, it's only going to be the month of February. If you take the slash out, it's going to mess it up, on day of month 2. So that means only on the 2nd day of the actual month. So January 2nd, February 2nd. But putting this slash in the front, the star in front of it, creates it to every 2 days. So I hope they kind of understand why you understand that. So going back to my little notepad right here. If we want to this is what I have on almost every one of my devices that I'm not having issues with, is I have this job right here running like this. And then when I'm done, I'll press Control X to get out of it. On the bottom, how's that? You can see that a little better now. So when you press Control X, it's going to ask you, do you want to save? Yes or no. Of course, you're going to hit yes. And you want to write this in the cron section? Yes. And you hit an enter. Boom. And that's it. So if you go and push up back to cron tab E and open it, you will see that your device is now restarting every 4 days. In addition, it's also running this right here. Now, if you have other projects and stuff on it, you might have you might have other scripts there and stuff like that. I know that was a little confusing. It's been a while since I did a how-to video, especially on this new computer. I have different monitors and everything like that, and it's just something weird for me to get used to. Opening up all these different tabs and switching between them and stuff like that. So hopefully, I didn't confuse y'all too much. But basically, that's all it is for running a Cronjob reboot every 2 days, 4 days, whatever you want. 24 hours you can set up. But again, using that website, crontab.guru. And I'm not partial to that one. There are other ones out there. I will say, though, you can Google it. Or if you have a question, feel free to hit me up. My email is in this description, or you basically know how to get in touch with me on Discord. So hopefully y'all got something out of it. Again, I want to remind everybody, this is for people who have do-it-yourself devices, those first 2,000 devices that Wingbits allowed. Wingbits is not doing any more do-it-yourself devices. We are waiting for geosigners. It is, as of making this video, the 28th of December. We were kind of hoping that they would be here by now. It's like a little Christmas present. They were hoping to have them out by the end of the year, but they have a company manufacturing and shipping them out. So Wingbits did not make those themselves. They just kind of came up with the spec form. But when you get a geosigner, you will have to hook that up to your DIY device. Your DIY device, after a certain time frame, will not work without that geosigner. So if you got a geosigner license, you should have a if you have a do-it-yourself license, you should have a geosigner license also. Basically, go to the dashboard of Wingbits, and it should say if it's going to be standing by or waiting for your shipping address or anything like that. You have to get that submitted like as of last week. So if you come across this video, you weren't aware of that, go to dashboard of your Wingbits devices. Again, this is only for DIY devices. This is not for the devices you're going to buy from HiFix or Helium Deploy or any of those other sites. Those already have a geosigner included in them. So we'll see. I don't know if the new devices are going to have any kind of auto script to reboot. I personally like the reboot stuff. The only thing about the reboot is it does clear out your TAR 1090 screen. So people who like to see all these lines on TAR 1090 from the past week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks or a month, every 4 days, that's going to clear out. I don't care. I don't look at it that much. I'm gonna tell you, since I've ever started doing these cron jobs, I've had a lot less devices that I've had to go visit to go reboot or call a host to go reboot. So it seems to keep them going, you know, a lot better. So hopefully this video wasn't too long for y'all. Y'all got what y'all needed out of it. Plan on doing a lot more videos, and we'll see. 2025 is gonna be very big for deep in bull cycle and everything. Make sure you please like this video if it helped you out at all, and subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. I appreciate it. Thank y'all, and see y'all next video.